Hello. Let me connect to chat. All right. Hey, everybody. There's nobody online yet, but for anyone watching the replay later, how are we? Well, welcome to Fully Defined. My name's Chris. I'm a certified SolidWorks expert, and I like to keep my skills up to date and my knowledge. And one of the ways I do that is by using TOBY'S practice models. So tutooltoby.com. There's free and premium accounts. I've signed up for the premium. I like to use the premium models and a bunch of the features in there. And yeah, we're going to go through some more advanced models tonight. Tier 4, 5, 6 models, and maybe some you can see here from the weekend's semi-finals. So, hey Gummy, thanks for joining. Hope you're ready for some advanced models tonight. If there's anything you would like me to try in particular, please feel free. Put your questions in the chat. And Guntis, hello and welcome. All right, let's get started. Now, the last few weeks we've started with Tier 1 and Tier 2 models, but we've progressed pretty quickly through those, and I'd like to get into some harder stuff tonight. Hello, Monty. Welcome. Welcome along. And Koska, I can see you there, number 3. 3 minutes 46. I think you can probably do quicker than that, but that's all right. Let's get into what's not completed. And you can see we've done all the Tier 1 models. We're on Tier 2. There's 6 we haven't done, but we're not going to worry about those tonight. What we will get into is some Tier 4 and above. So I'm just going to set up my screen, and I'll give you guys as many tips as I can along the way for speed modeling. Please do the cube of the tournament. Having a hard time with it. Awesome. All right. It is a very tricky one. Let's start with that one. Now, let me just see if I've got it here. That is this model. And you can see my feature tree the way I've done this one. It is not easy. Although I definitely like, I think it was Guntis's process for this one. Using the rotate, or maybe it was Lotus. Sorry guys, I'm not quite on top of it. Yeah, Lotus, who did a circular pattern, which is quite amazing. There's many ways to do it. Of course, when you're under pressure with time, it's much more difficult. Let me bring up the drawing, and I've got a screenshot here. So I had a go at all of these models as they were. I wasn't watching live, but I did watch it on a replay. And I had a go, and this was definitely one that I was not super quick on. But there's a number of ways to do it. I'm going to take you through my process. May not be the quickest, but is definitely one way. The quickest way is to do sort of one section on the bottom and the side, and then pattern it. But that can be complicated. Yeah, exactly. So the way I look at this, Gummy, if you're trying to do it in a speed modeling sense in the competition, just try and break it down into the simplest shapes and do it as quickly as possible now. One thing I've noted since then, having a look at it, is you've actually got the, let's say, you've got one side of the model that you could do. So if you see my cursor here, let's say this face. If you do that shape without the radius in it, you could then pattern that or replicate that in 6 different faces, and then just add the fillets to the 3 sides that are closest to you. That is one way of doing it. There are going to be numerous ways of going about it. The way I did it here, I actually started with a cube to get the full size right, and then I built one section at a time, used a mirror, and then I used a move copy body to get the top side done, which was probably a bit slow mating it. Just took me a little while. I did the same with the sides, a mirror. All right, but let's start from scratch on this one. So close that. I'm going to start a new model, which will be millimeters aluminium alloy. So straight away, I'm going to skip making a cube to start and just start immediately on the bottom face. And one thing I will do is just draw the 80 by 80 square as a guide. And I also need to pick a corner that is going to be like my back corner. So if we go to like an isometric view, we can see that this corner here, this one's at the back, which means I'm going to have a 60 by 60 from the front. And I'm going to offset 10 millimeters, reverse, just to get that size. And then what you can see in the corners is that there's going to be a line here that is 20 mil off this edge. And because we've drawn these lines, this center point rectangle, we've now got a construction line in the middle. We can use those to mirror elements. I selected the wrong tools there. Let me just try that again. Entities to mirror is this one. I'm going to mirror about this construction line. And then I've got my bottom sketch. And then I can extrude that up, select the contour, and I've got my first solid body. Now at this point you can start to try and do something fancy with move copy, etc. Or you can just keep going and building, which I'm definitely inclined to do because it's going to be quicker in the end. So I can then go to this side and do a 60 by 60 on this corner. We'll see how that matches up. And we're going to repeat the process. Offset, reverse. All right, now we've got this edge here we can convert. And then I can draw another line here. Give that a dimension. I've got to make sure it's horizontal. And I do another extrude, select this contour, blind. Is that the right shape? I believe so. Okay, and now we've got sort of one side done. The last one is going to be on this back side. And if I do this right, the bottom point is over here, 60 by 60. We're going to offset it all 10. That's going to join onto this edge. And is that correct? Yeah, there's going to be the gap. So that'll be 20. Let's just see if I'm getting that right. Yep, so it's going to come down, across and up. So we put a line in here. It's 20 mil from this edge. And we also put a line in, let's say here, on this one. So grab that contour, extrude in. Okay. Now we've come this far, we can do a fillet. So the internal fillet on this front curve here is 10, and then we repeat that for the outer, 20. And then we're gonna be at this point where we want to mirror. For this, we need a plane that's in between, and we can select mirror, plane, body, merge, and then all we've got left to do is the top shape. Now your question, can we use thicken of 10 millimeters with inside radius, which makes the sketch simple? Yes, absolutely you could. So if we went to this one here, you could just do the inside shape and do a thin feature. That is another way of doing it. And probably a lot quicker. As I said, there's going to be multiple ways of doing this one. 60 by 60. For instance, here, let me show you on this one. If we split, let's say I split it here and here. And is it going to join? Yep. So I make that bit for construction, that bit for construction. So now I've just got this section. I'm going to extrude. I can change that to 10 millimeters. Merge. Okay, and then I've got a complete solid body. Now, I think this is the right answer, 205.4. Let me just refer to my previous attempt. Yep, 205.4. So we've got to the right answer here, but yeah, there are definitely more ways to do it that could be even quicker. Thin feature. Now, this is not, because it's just a model from the weekend's tournament, it's not up as a practice model yet. So we can't go through and record and link a community tutorial or even do a speed run. So I'm going to save that. But yeah, hope you enjoyed seeing at least that sample, that example of one way of creating this model. I think you're probably right that doing a thin feature will be a lot quicker for the whole thing. And I think, again, doing something that is going to revolve or use a pattern, so you only have to do it once and then you can pattern the whole thing, that's going to be quicker still. But in the heat of a speed modeling challenge, it's very difficult to work that out unless you see it very, very quickly. Okay, let's move on to some new tier 4 models. So we can see that there's lots of tier 4 models we haven't done. I've got 35 on the list. So if there were any requests, I'm happy to take them. But otherwise, let's just start with this one here. 241111, a wall plate. Let's begin and reveal drawing. So the way we work in this live stream is for all of our models, our first attempt is a practice run, slow run. We're just trying to work out the best way to do it. After that, we'll come back, make some assessments, and then try and do a speed run afterwards to see if we can get the top time. This one is plain carbon steel. And this one I have seen before. You'll see in the comments, the pink notes from Toby, it did not finish. I think this was one that I did. And I made some mistakes. The mistake I made, let me point out to you, is here. There's a different hole in this section compared to this section. And in the model, the time of the model, I didn't pick it up. So I lost an answer, I lost a second one, and then I worked it out afterwards, but yeah, I'd already stuffed up both my chances. So the rest of the model I did reasonably well. So yeah, It's definitely, it was a tricky one. Tier 4, well, I think we'll do a lot better this time. Hello, Rambros, current world champ. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Rambros, question for you. Are you going to defend your title this year? Coming up, I see the entries are open. I haven't seen if you've entered yet, but I'm very curious to see if you'll give it a go or pass it on, leave it for the others to fight amongst themselves. All right, so let's have a go at this. Our easiest way to start is from the top, because it's a very simple kind of sketch to start from. You get 3.5 for the outer, 0.75 for the inner hole, and then you can do the slots. Now there's elements of this that you can do in symmetry, but then it's those final holes that need to be done individually. Depends on the price. That's very good. What's it going to take? What do you need the prize to be for you to enter? It's more about the prestige, I think. All right, so the slots. You can do, there's a few ways you can do the slot. A center point arc slot is probably pretty easy to do, something like this. And then I can tweak the dimensions. You can see that the center radius of it, it actually doesn't, it's a bit annoying here. The dimensions don't tell you that radius to the center line. They tell you the two inside and outside. So I can delete that and dimension this one and make that 1.25. Is that right? Yeah. And then the radius here, well, that is going to be 0.25. And then I want to make this horizontal. I might have to use a construction line for that. Okay. So there's my one slot on one side. Just thinking about the quickest way. It's going to be probably to separate something. It might be to do the slots last. We'll come back to that. So I'm going to extrude this. The thickness of this section is 0.25. I'm going to go up. And then on the top plane, which is the bottom face, I'm going to do my next sketch. And is it easy to do it here? I think so. What you can do is I'm going to convert an edge. I'm going to draw one side. I'm going to make these two lines equal. And then I'm going to use the measurements that we can see on the top, which is 2.25 between them. So I can go here to here, 2.25 divided by 2, and then the width you can see is 1.25. And then I can extrude this, and the total height, well, the height to the center point is 0.875, but from the top face, and then a radius of 0.625. So if I want to work that out a bit easier, I can start the sketch from there. I can go 0.875, I can go plus 0.625, and that gets my full height. And then on this point, a very easy way to do this is a full face fillet to get the round shape. Now, if I try and mirror this, if I think about what's going to happen here, if I mirror that feature and that face, that works fine. So that step is okay. And then we have to do our holes. So there's a few ways we could do the holes. The easiest way is just a couple of cut extrudes. I'm inclined to do a revolve cut so we can do the whole thing in one go. So what that means, I'm going to draw a line in the middle, which is a construction line. And then I'm going to look at the holes, and I'm looking at this side view, and I'm going to say is that we're going to have one that comes to the edge. It's going to start quite skinny, come in and then get wider all the way through. And they're the same, 0.75. And that comes out, gets wider still, comes in, back to the middle, join all the way up. So I didn't need that construction line. And now all I need to do is put the dimensions in. The one thing the construction line would help with is it can make your dimensions a bit quicker to do like diameters. So I can go 0.5 and go 0.75. And then this one is 1. And then the depth, you can see that from here to here is 1.5. And here to here is 1.5. With that shape done, I can then do a revolve cut to remove all of that in one go. And if I've got it correct, then this should be the answer, 0.904. There we go. All right, submit that time. And we'll save the model. This is a practice model. Wall plate. It is red. What did you guys think of that workflow? I think there's a few things that we can definitely tidy up. I think the color's a bit light, a bit dark. All right, let's let's see what we could do better now. Or let's have a look at if I've got the file from my World Champs entry. It should be here. It's called a wall plate. You can see that one. So what I'm opening here is the first time I built this. And you can see the method I used when I was doing it live the first time was very, very similar. I did the outer shape, extrude, and then I did one shape here. I did this one differently. I did it from the center and extruded out. And I put that 0.5 mil hole in there. Not sure if that's the right way to do it, but and then I did a cut going through. This could be pretty quick. Which could be very quick. Probably quicker than sketching the revolve cut. There's a number of holes, a number of things you need to select. But that can all be driven from one sketch if I put the other holes inside it. So I think that might be a good way of doing it. And I think on the top, I think doing all that in one sketch and just mirroring the sketch is going to be pretty quick too. So let's just tweak our model to get to that level. So we're duplicating the process, which means I'm going to scrap these elements and I'm going to go back to the front view and scrap that one. So I'm going front and then I'm sketching. We could do a slot, will be pretty quick. So I want to do a slot for this section. That way I can put these dimensions in. very quickly. Can also select and convert that edge. And then we want to put our holes in. Now for our holes, we've got 0.5, 0.75, and 1. So that's the sketch we need to do. And then I'm going to do an extrude. I'm going to select those 3 contours. I need to go offset 1.5. And I want to go up to surface. And something's gone wrong there. Yeah, it's offset not 1.5, it is 1.125. So we do it like that. That's one way. Then we want to do the same the other way, except we're going to select some different contours. Just going to select those 2. Offset up to surface this way. Flick that direction. And you can see I've done a bigger hole on that side. And so then we need to do 2 cuts. So this is more complicated, but if you're quick enough at putting and getting the correct dimensions in, it should be quicker. Need to select both those contours. Now, have I got them right? Got 0.5 and then I've got 1. That's not correct. I need a 0.5 and a 0.75. So I just selected 1 contour too many. So it should look like that. And then on the other side, I need to do the biggest one. Offset 1.5. Whoa, have I stuffed up something here? Yeah, my hole's wrong on this one. That's the tricky one there. Okay. So I want to offset it there, but my direction is this way. There we go. 0.9041. But I don't know about you, I feel like the sketch is quick, but the process is going to be slow. Now, anyway, let's give it a go. We'll see the time to beat. Time to beat is 3 minutes 30. And Gummy, you're up there, mate. 4 minutes, not bad. Rich Pan and Matab. Oh, let's beat that. All right, so it's plain carbon steel pounds. Start our file. We're going to try again, and here we go for a speed run. 3, 2, 1, and let's go. All right, top. And 3.75. And then our slot. Now I didn't do arc slot, which maybe I should have. I just wanted to mention the internal one, which was 1.25. This one being 0.25. And I feel like I've done something wrong here. The outer side is 3.5. That's what I did wrong. And I'm going to get these to be horizontal, that to be 50. And then I'm going to mirror that slot and extrude the whole thing up 0.25. Blind. Now, I'm just going to look that down to make the next step a bit easier, which is where I'm going on the front plane. Do my straight slot. down and out. So out's going 1.25, and down I wanted to go 0.875. Convert that edge, and then do my holes. Now, if I can do my series of holes quickly, then everything else should be sweet. So we're going to extrude. The first one, we're offsetting 2.25 below A2. I'm going to go up to surface, and I'm going to select the contours that I want, which is these three. Flip that direction, and do the same the other way. 1, 2. Just select those two, offset 2.25 below A2, up to surface here. Click that, and done. Then I've got to get my cuts in. So this one has small cut on the outside, big cut inside. So I'm selecting these ones, and I'm going blind 1.5. Okay, and then I'm doing the second one. I'm going to select all those contours through all, offset 1.5. And I've got something wrong. What's wrong here? And this is going to slow me down. Small hole. That one's too big. So I selected one more contour than I needed to on that one. That's the trick. 904. 3 minutes 13. Sketch, extrude, revolve. Yeah. All right. I think we've got the quickest time, but it wasn't that fast. And I dare say a lot of you guys could probably beat that. But we'll move on. Don't love this model, but it's okay. How'd you guys go? Anyone do a good time on that one? Love to see you beat me in the times there. Let's jump on to the next one. Back to practice models. And we go down to not completed. Let's do a tier 5 where there's 22 models we haven't done. That's plenty. And let's pick a woodworking one, something different. Rich Penn had done a video, speed modeling. Let's give it a go. All right, red oak inches. Annoying. Multi-body part. It's quite a bit of detail on this. The gaps. So 23 boards evenly spaced around that edge. And then you have kind of a rectangular shape, which you can do pretty quickly. Symmetrical. So you could do a quarter of it. The boards have different radiuses. The boards on the top. And I'm just trying to understand here. So item number 2, 1 and 2, yeah, they're all the same. And then item 3, they're all the same. Okay. So the 1 and 2, the timber on the sides, they have radiuses. And then all the small ones have radiuses too. Cool. Let's just get into it. Where to start? I'd start on the top plane because in fact, let's not do that. Let's start on the front plane. And I'll probably start from the center out. So I do the height, and I want to do the height to the timber leg, because I want to do the frame first and then do the multi-body like planks afterwards. But we can see we've got the dimensions. It says 18.25 to the very top. The boards are all the same thickness, so I could actually do the inside, which is 14. And then the width, 36 minus 3.5, 18 minus 3.5. That's the inside shape. So I could just do that. Then I could extrude and do a thin feature and do it blind. Now the thickness is 1.5. The width is 3.5. And we want to offset it 18 and then come in. Yeah, doing it a quarter. That's the way I'm thinking of doing it here. Right, so we get that corner section done. And then we can do that chamfer, and the chamfer we can see is 2 by 2. So I can select that edge, do a chamfer, make it 2. That section's done. And then, like, it's multi-body, right? Like, but just because it's multi-body doesn't mean you need to do it that way. Like, I can still keep these as one solid body. There's no gap in between them that I can see. Although they do have the radius, that's probably one thing that's interesting to note. You probably can't zoom in enough, but because they're cut there's a little radius on those edges. So in fact, you do need to separate them. In which case, I would split, cut, separate, and then put some fillets in. The corners are 0.125. And I just select all 4 like this. Okay. And then repeat it on this one. All right. I'm not sure if there's fillets on these edges. It's not really clear in the drawing. I don't think there is. Because if you assume, like the way it's made in woodworking, you have a plank, it's cut on this face, it's cut on this face and this face. You don't then have the same fillets on those edges. All right, so with that done, now we can do the boards. Now this is the point where there's probably some ways to save time. And there's one board that sits right in the middle. So you want to come up here and draw that board, which is going to be 0.75 by 2.5. And I want to get this one right in line with the origin. And I can put the fillets in at this point. Just like that. And then I can extrude it up to like the front plane, and that's going to be halfway. Uncheck merge, and then I've got one plank. And then I want to evenly space 23 boards, which means if I take away the middle one, there's 22, so I want to put 11 on this side. Now, I wonder if we can do that with a sketch-driven curve. So what I'm going to do is come here, draw a sketch that comes around and down. and finishes 1 mil off from the bottom. I'm going to select that to do a curve-driven pattern. One tangential. Might not want to do it. I might have to convert it to a curve, then try curve-driven pattern, and then must be tangential. All right, so let's delete that, edit the sketch. Let's put a radius in on these corners, see if this helps. Body, selected point. No, it's not going to be a sketch-driven pattern. Curve, equals spacing, bodies, this one. Don't think this is going to work. There's definitely a setting that I'm doing wrong here. Transform alignment method, align to seed, tangent to curve, face normal. No. Arrow's pointing the wrong way. There we go. So I could probably do it with bodies. Yep. How's that look? Equal spacing. You see this one doesn't end where it should. And this one doesn't sit where it should either. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I need to go to 12. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, okay. Offset curve, transform curve, offset. Align to seed, tangent curve. This will give the correct answer, but the model's not right. Hey Matab, welcome. You've only missed one model, or 1.5. We've started at tier 4 models. So not much to miss out on. Now one of the issues here, I think, is that we probably want to do all the mirrors before we do this, because trying now to mirror all of these bodies is going to take a lot of time. All right? So we're probably better off doing this and then mirroring. What am I going to front and right? Let me try that again. We want to do a mirror, right plane mirror, and then select the front as well. Body's going to be these two, and we're definitely too wide. 18, that should be 9. Okay, so if we get those bodies done first, then we can do our extrude, and for this one then we just extrude all the way across. I'm going to save us time. Then we do our pattern. Then we could mirror those bodies. What's going on there? Delete that one. All right, I think that's going to be the right answer. Let's just try it. 29.43. Yeah. Correct answer, incorrect model. top 100, no Ivan exploits. So yeah, we need to fix that. Let's save it while we're here and then work out how to fix that. Practice models. Matab, congratulations on making it to the final. I thought you might be here for practice. And you sharpen up those skills for the tier 5 and tier 6 models that you're going to see in the final, I reckon. Yeah, pretty exciting. Well done. All right, so how do we fix this? Let's just have a look at the drawing again. So we know that our frame is correct. It's all about getting the right position for these legs. I suspect that if we change our sketch, if we notice here with our sketch is going to the center point of that body. So if we reduce this dimension by the length, half of the length of that one on the right, so and add another 1.25 to it, that's now going to space it exactly where we need to. So it's going to be 1 millimeter, or sorry, one inch from the bottom. And now that positions this one correctly. And so no Ivan exploit on this. Call Matab, put your request in, and I'll have a look at it after this one. We will do a speed model of this one. Rambros, do a sketch pattern for the planks. Yeah, you could do a sketch pattern, but is it going to be quicker? Maybe. Depends. Like this sketch is pretty fast here. I do a sketch, I do a curve pattern, I mirror, and I'm done. Let's see. Let's give it a go speed modeling. So we did 14 by 14.5, chamfer that edge, split, fillet, mirror, double mirror, and then extrude and pattern. All right, Matab, I'll have a look after this. All right, let's give this one a speed run. Our target time is 4 minutes 20. Logged out. Yeah, okay. Could definitely be quicker in Fusion. Where is our model? We just did completed and tier 4. That was tier 5 actually. This one. We're going to try again. And 14 up, 14.5 to the side, 9 out, 1.5 in. Let's give it a go. Inches, red oak to start. 3, 2, 1, let's go. $14, 14.5. Make those two construction. Extrude this. What was the thickness? 3.5. We're going blind. 1.5. We're offsetting it. 9. Make sure we're going the right direction. And we are going to the outside. Okay. Chamfer. Edge of 2. Split the bodies cut that, add our fillets. Fillets are 0.125. We want to get those 4 edges. We want to repeat the tool, select those 4 edges. Then we want to mirror. So we're going to go right plane, mirror. Secondary plane being the front plane, bodies, these ones, okay. Front plane, sketch, rectangle. This is going to be 0.75 by 2.5. We want to get it in line with the origin, so it's in the middle. Just get lined up there. Radius the corners, 0.125. Stuffed up there. That's cost me. Extrude it. So yeah, this has cost me some time as well. Didn't want to have to do both faces. Uncheck merge result, and now my sketch going on the front plane. I'm drawing a sketch that comes across, down, and down. This is going to be 1 plus 1.25, and I need to fillet those edges there. Select that sketch, use curve driven pattern, select the body, check the direction, press OK, mirror, bodies, 1, 2, 3, answer 29.42. Oof. 2.42, 2 minutes 42 with a few mistakes. Probably could get around 2 minutes 20. I think. Yeah, sorry. You're right, it is hard. I should probably lighten. So what I can do is I can open up my red oak file and I can turn on the lights, which I've done in this one. So in my millimeters version, I've already brightened it. Yeah, I just need to do the same thing in the inches one. So I open up the inches template. I turn on the extra lights, and then I just save as a part template again. This is going to save in my two-tool Toby templates as inches red oak. Sorry about that, it was pretty dark. Thank you, Gummy, and thank you, Rambros and Matab. Enjoyed that. I'm just curious to see if this sketch, if we could do this sketch both ways. Let me just turn the lights on in this one. So this sketch here, if I could make this sketch go all the way on both sides, I wonder if I could do this pattern so it was going both directions. I don't know if I can. No, it doesn't want to. I don't think it wants to do it. I think maybe if I converted it to a curve. So let's try that. So I get my sketch, convert it to a curve. Now select that curve, do curve driven pattern, select the body, direction 2. No, it's still not going to work. There's probably a way to do it so it'll pattern both sides at once. I guess maybe you can mirror. I only do half the mirror of this, not double it, because then I'm doing mirror twice. All in all, it's pretty quick. Now we go to number 1. 2 minutes, nearly 2 minutes quicker than Rich. Nice. All right, Matab, you had a request. Matab's request. Equal spacing. I did have equal spacing. So, yeah, equal spacing is ticked. All right, 241207, practice model, tier 5. I'm going to suggest that I've already completed it. 241207. Are you sure it is tier 5? Well, mirror that path sketch and equal spacing maybe. No, I tried that, didn't work. Tier 4, okay. 241207, this one. Cool, I haven't done it. So let's have a look. Machine part, very hard, tier 4, very hard, okay. Let's give it a go. Top 100, 2 minutes 54. All right, here's the hard model. What's hard about it? Apart from it being in inches. Oh, the bends. Yeah, I can see the bends being tricky, but okay. Good challenge. Thank you. Let's jump in to a inches aluminium file. Now I would do all the flat section first. And I'd start with the circle, always start with the circle. 1 5/8. Oh man. Why do that, Toby? This is why it's hard. One plus 5 divided by 8. So annoying. And then on the outside, 2 plus 5 divided by 8. That's so annoying. We do a rectangle like this, just to there, and then we do another one. It's bigger to here. And I'm going to grab those two and make them for construction. And we're going to say that from the center point to the end is 2.75, and the width is 1.5. The width of this section is 1. See you around, bros. Thanks for stopping by. Catch you soon. All right, 1 for that. And then from here to here, the dimensions we've got is 4 plus 5 over 8. Okay, so that's the shape at the bottom. Then we can extrude that up. Thickness, which is 3 divided by 16. Just going to get all of those done and in there. Then the curve section. So we'll do this one. So let's try and work this one out. There's a slot. There's a width. Oh, we don't have the width. So I'm looking at this end view and I'm trying to see if there's like a dimension that I can cut out first. I don't think there is. Let me just zoom in a bit. That radius comes right to the edge. So it's a 1/16 plus. So it's 2/16, so it's 9/16 wide. There we go. So we can go like this, midpoint, origin, coincident, and 9 divided by 16. And we can extrude cut that. Line 7 divided by 8. Is that right? Don't know if that's quite right. Doesn't look right. Definitely complicated due to the twist. That number didn't work. 9/16 is correct, but that's the radius. That's what I've done wrong. So the diameter is 14/16 plus 2, so 16/16. It is 1. The slot is 1. Okay. My bad. So it's like that. Looks longer. Yeah, well, I haven't done that section yet. I'm going to do that separately. What I'm doing right now is this, because what I want to do is let me explain. Here we've got something that is like that. It comes down, and then there's a radius here. Okay? And that radius is tangent, and that is 1 divided by 16. That one is vertical. Let's delete that. We don't need it. And then the height of the circle we can see is 13/16. I'm going to mirror these two sections and trim. And then I'm going to extrude with my thickness being 3 divided by 16. And I'm going up like this to create that curved section on the end. Right, so now we've done that whole right section of the model. Now we do the left side, the side with the twist. So the side with the twist, the views that we've got, well, we can see it slopes. If I go to the left side here and I look at this view here, these are the dimensions I'm going to use. Because it starts up and it just goes and stops at a point and then we extrude it down, and it should be pretty straightforward after that. I think the hardest bit on this one is understanding the geometry and how to build it. The tools that we're using are not that difficult. So we can start on this face. Actually, we can do a sketch on the right plane. Just want to make sure I get it facing the right way. And I'm going to sketch the shape that it needs to be, just like that. The width is in line with these. And the width there is 1. No, it is 3 divided by 16. Okay, the angle is 15. The height to this one is 7/8. And then, so I'm going to extrude this. How are we going to do this? So it's going out 5. And I want to come back so we can go offset 5. And then I want to go this direction, offset from surface, reverse, 3/16. Good morning, Jern, or good evening. We are doing a tier 4. Right, and as you can see, once I've got that side done, well, we've got a full round fillet here. Delete. Oh, it doesn't want to do it. Does not want to do the full round fillet. That's fine. We'll try a normal one. Okay. And then here, all we got to do is just fill in the gap. So I'm going to sketch here to here. I'm going to extrude up to surface. And now it's all merged together, and then I just need to put some radiuses in. And we've got 0.25 on the outside, and let's just say 1 divided by 16, 0.0625 on the insides. Let's see if we're correct. 191. There we go. That's our answer. 0.191. First attempt, which is good. And we can work on the speed. Let's save. What's it called? Shut off. Thank you, Matab. Appreciate it. Happy to take any questions on the process or suggestions for how we can do it smarter. It's definitely tricky. But the approach, I think that's probably the right approach. There's probably just some ways we can make it more efficient. Pleasure, mate. All right, so how can we speed this up? That's our next aim. We have could we draw all of that in one? I think the twist probably needs to be done the way that we've done it. Maybe sheet metal, yeah, maybe, but I'm not as, I think you can get some sheet metal things a bit funny here. Like I don't think that will really work in sheet metal. There's no gap, no tear. Yeah, I think we could probably do without the cut. So if we did, because what is the cut? The cut was 0.875. So let me show you this. So let's just reduce this by 0.875. And then instead of doing this cut, we do extrude thin, but we change this sketch and I put in these edges and give that a dimension. Like that. And go the other direction. Is that the same thing? I think so. So that saves us that cutaway material, add-on material again. It's a little bit different, but I think that works. Everything else then stays the same. 0.191 was the answer, so that's still pretty good. This section here, I think it's the quickest way. Yeah, you got to do fillets twice, 3 rounds of fillets. The reason the full round fillet doesn't quite work is because these faces are not perpendicular. I think it doesn't like that. And that's close enough. Thank you, Monty. Appreciate it. Let's give it a speed run. Let's have a go. All right, so hardest thing here is the numbers. I don't like working in fractions. But that 1.875 is important. Like if I look at this, what I want to do is take this screenshot and I could replace some of the numbers. What I'm going to do actually is just take a screenshot of this one and put it up on my screen so I can use that as reference for my first sketch. And then everything else will just kind of wing it. All right, so top speed 2 minutes 54. It's the time to beat. Let's give it a go. Okay. New file, it is pounds and alloy. 3, 2, 1, let's go. So top, inner hole 1.625, outer 2.625, rectangle, it's 1, and I'll do the other side first. That is 1.5, 1.875, 4.625. We want these to be equal. We want these to be equal. May as well trim away these sections because I can. And then I'm going to extrude up. The thickness is 3 divided by 16. Okay. Then we're going to do the sketch on this side. So I'm going to do line, radius, straight, radius, select it all. Select right plane and mirror actually. Front plane and mirror. Make that tangent. Give that a radius of 7/16. Give that a radius of 1/16. Make it tangent. Do the height. 13/16. Extrude. Flip that to 3/16. Flip direction I think we said that's 7/8. Okay, that's that side. Then the other side, right plane. Just flip around. Line, line. Probably do this quicker, but going to get that vertical. Get those parallel. Get the angle right. Get the height right. Just 7/8. And that one. Thickness. Use 3/16. Okay, I'm going to extrude. I'm going to extrude that section, not doing a thin feature. I'm offsetting 5 this direction. I'm going offset from surface this one, reverse 3/16. Then I want to merge them. So I'm just going to come in here. Yeah, this edge up. Merge up to surface. Now fillets. We've got our fillets. Where are they? 1/16 for the interiors. Not that one. It's this one, and then 1/4. So it's a 1/4 inch for outside, and then 0.5 for these two. A bit slow in the end, 0.191. Yeah, that's still slow. It's still really slow. Only third. This is very tricky. So I reckon those guys will probably do that quicker. But they don't have a video of it, so I can't reference. Yeah, but yeah, very yucky model. Didn't like it at all. Just the numbers. Numbers were not good. Let's try another one. If anyone out there has any requests, happy to take them for the next one. After this, I'm going to do now how many tier 6s left? Oh, this one. Yeah, that model's horrible. Let's do this tier 6. Average completion time, 41 minutes and 20 seconds. 181 completions, it's pretty good. Oh, this looks like it's been a challenge somewhere. Lots of people have had a go already. Quickest time, 1:14. Okay. Oh, I've done this one. Bath caddy. I've already done it. Just not here. Where have I done it? Because I've definitely seen it. Step file. Why do I have a step file? Here. It was done for an earlier competition this year. Multi-body and patterns. It's in millimeters, so we'll give it a go. It uses patterns, it uses some paths. So yeah, let's let's get into it. It is millimeters various, which means pick one of the materials and use it. I'll use aluminium alloy. And in this example, you want to create the holes before you create the shelves, the tubes. The reason you want to do that is because of this detail here, where you have the clearance around the tubes. It's a 1 millimeter gap. You can use the tubes to indent into the face of the shelf before you shell it to create that cut detail. Makes it very easy, very quick. So we'll go through that process. The thing you need to start with is the tube. I'm going to start on the front plane. And for the tube, you got the OD and the ID. If we can create a path for the tube, then we can do the whole tube in one go, at least a quarter of it. So to do a quarter of it, we want to get a sketch which looks like this. It's going to be a solid body though, sorry. Let me just draw that again. So we're going to do a rectangle. Yeah. I will show you the trick that I'm starting to use to do these sort of tubes in a very quick way. I think it's really quick anyway. Quicker than doing a 3D sketch. It's actually doing a 3D shape, adding your fillets in, and then using that edge. You need to do a bit of maths to work it out though. And by that I mean the full height of this is 746. But I need to take off the radius of the tube, which is 14. So I want to go all the way up 746 minus 14. That's my height. Is that correct? Sorry, I put the wrong number in there. That is still 746, but I want to go like 14 here off the bottom. And then in the middle, where there's a gap between the tubes, you can see it's 56 center to center, which means the gap between them. This edge is going to be center to center, so I can actually use this edge and say 28. Don't have to change anything there. And then I want to get to the center point of the tube on the outside, which we can see is 353. So that's half of that, but then we need to take off again the radius, so another 14. All right, bear with me while I try and explain this one. Now we're going to extrude this body half of the full width. So we're going to go, it's 428 divided by 2, and then we're going to take off the diameter again, so minus 14. So we're going 200. Now I'll just show you these planes so we understand where we're at. We've done this quarter. And we're going to do a radius on this edge, which is going to be the internal radius of the tube. Now we can see here, the top view, it's got an inside bend of 40. We're going to add our radius to that. Our radius of the circle, which is 14, which makes this 54, if I've done it correctly. And then we've got this edge here, we're going to grab, and that has the same radius. So we could actually do that in one fillet. Okay. All right, we're nearly there, Matab. I could, looking at this now, I'm actually going to do both ways. So I'm going to go mid-plane 400. And I'm going to put all the fillets on. I'm not going to do a quarter, I'm going to do a half, because it's going to make it fast. Now, here's the bit that's going to melt the brain. I'm going to right-click this edge and select tangency. You can see that selection that I've got now. that is the shape of our tubes. If I've done all the dimensions correctly. Now unfortunately I can't select that edge and then press sweep boss base. I have to press the sweep. I have to go circular profile. I have to right click here and select tangency. And that's stopped. Let me try that again. Selection manager, tangency. Okay. I'm going to put the outer dimension in. I'm going to do thin feature. And you see the thickness is 3 millimeters. So I want to make sure I'm going to the inside, and I uncheck merge result. And there's my tube. Now I want to check if I've got the right dimensions. All right, so from the front plane, outside to outside should be 353. Let me just mirror quickly, because then we can do some dimensions. So from here, we want from there to there to be 353, which you can see we've got correct. I also want, I wanted the bottom edge of these to be on the top plane, which it is. You can see I've got that right. And then from the top view, I want from edge to edge to be 428, which it is. This could be the thing that gets you over the line in the finals, Matab. Could you imagine? Okay, so that's everything you need for the tubes. That's it. In one body. Yeah, a lot of maths in the head, but it's quick. Now, we do need to do holes for the tubes, but the holes are done at the same time. So next step is a shelf. So let's do the shelf. We're going to start on the top plane. And I would just do it in one go. I wouldn't worry about mirroring or anything like that, because we do have the shelf dimensions as 388 by 267. They have radiuses of 55. And then each shelf has a height, just looking for the dimension, of 85. And then the bottom one is offset 110. Like that. So uncheck merge result, very important. Now we want to put the bottom radius on. So we've got R55 there. The bottom radius is 25, so we'll put that one in. And then we want to do our indent. Now the indent one is important. So indent, our target body is the shelf. Our tool body are the two tubes. We're going to hit cut, and we're going to offset it by 1 millimeter. Now what it's going to cut inside and outside of the tube, but you can see here it's going to leave a bit of material left. So when we press OK, there's a few extra bodies that you need to get rid of. Now there is an alternative to get rid of this, which is to do a swept cut, but I think this is quicker. Now you don't actually have to delete the bodies. You just have to hide them. Anything that's hidden is not included in your maths. Right? So look at, if you look at the weight, I know the numbers are a bit small, but if you look at the weight over on the side here, 25209, if I hide this big body, it goes right down. Right? So you don't have to delete the bodies, you just have to hide them. Another way to do it is just to leave them all there and just isolate what you need at the end, but this is probably quicker. Okay, so now I'm just going to isolate this body. I can put the small radiuses in, which is 12, R12. I'm going to select those edges. And then the last step is the shell. And it's a 6 mil thickness. So I click and remove. Exit isolate. Now we can pattern. There's a few ways of doing the pattern. I still like to use a linear pattern with the body. And my spacing is, I'm going to do 3, and it's going to go 270. And then on my front plane, I want to do my holes. And the holes, I can see a 270 part. If I do the top one first, so it comes down, it's coming 20 down from the edge of the shelf, which makes it difficult. So I want to go from here down 20, and then put the hole in, which holes are 10. I'm going to mirror, and then I'm going to pattern that one. Similar thing, except I want to go Y, 270. And I'm going to go extrude cut through through everything. Now all that's left is to apply materials. So I want to grab my 2 tubes and make them alloy. And grab my 3 shells and make them. I think that's a sub, but whoever joined, thank you. Then we have, those materials there, shells, ABS. And so then we should have our answer, which would be 5973. Let's check it out. We're done. Oh, that is a tricky one. Lots of features. Tier 6 model. I think we've done well to get that right first time. There's a lot of places in this you can obviously go wrong with the dimensions, the way it's set up. Yeah. Thanks for Tab. Just crossed over 1,000 this week, so very happy with that. And undersubbed, perhaps. Haven't quite found the algorithm rhythm yet, but that's okay. Yeah, nice, very nice little challenge. I know it's a different approach. Again, there are a lot of different ways to do this kind of model, isn't there? So, yeah, I'm aware of that. How many people did I lose doing it this way? I mean, were you able to follow along? Or are you going to have to look at the, people might have to look at the replay, which is okay, totally understandable. Very complicated. Let's save that one. CADDY. And should we do a speed run? Thanks for Tab. I'll have a look at that next. Oh, look at that time. 1:14. A lot of people have done this one. I think Toby might have promoted it at some point. June 2, June 3, maybe. Don't know. Bit of a fun one for people to do. So we should have an attempt. Very easy to stuff up this one. Yeah. Very easy to make a mistake on. I need to get these dimensions right here. If I can do that quickly, I should be able to run through pretty fast. Below 5 minutes, yeah. Let me aim for 3 minutes. I'd be happy with that. Okay, so I'm just looking at this sketch. This is what I need to remember. I'm just going to put those here to the side, so I'm ready to go. I want to sketch it down and then put those dimensions in. Okay, let's have a go. Millimeters alloy to start. Yeah. Let's see how we go. All right. Yeah, I don't know if I can do it. We will try. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So I'm going to really got to be super quick with these. I'm sure there's actually a better way of doing this. Even here, I've messed that one up a bit. Mid-plane 400. Now what's the radius? 54. So we're going outside, outside, inside. Then we're doing a sweep. Circular profile, selection manager. That one. The outside is 28. Thin feature of 3. Inside, options, uncheck merge result, hide this body, mirror that body. And then top plane, shape is 388 by 267, 55 on the outside, extruding up 85, 110 off the bottom, uncheck merge, R25 here, indent here, target body, tool body, cut, gap. Okay. I want to hide the small ones. I'll isolate this, put my radiuses on. No quick selection there, unfortunately. Shell 6, and then I want to linear pattern going direction top 270, front plane, sketch, oh, messed that one up, front, sketch down 20, and then a circle 10 for construction, right plane mirror, pattern this, 3 of those 270, none of those, flip the direction, extrude cut through all both. Did it do it? No, it doesn't do it. It says it does it and it doesn't do it. And then materials, so those 2 are alloy, these 3 are ABS. Answer 5973. Almost under 3 minutes. Thank you. Not quite top. Not quite top. Almost out of top 10, but yeah. I'd love to see top SolidWorks is 730. So even Loto's here. So we'll go number 2 on this board. I'm not surprised at all that Sebastian here, I think, has 2 minutes. He's flying. That was fun. All right, we've got time for a couple more. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Let's see what to do next. Yeah, top SolidWorks here. Happy with that. 250702. Let's have a look. What tier is it in the tab? Yeah, what tier? I need to find it. I can search this one, 3D print. Oh, yeah, I have seen this one. I haven't done it. Only 27 people successfully completed it. And Gray's done it in 26 seconds. I saw some chatter on this one, but I had not had a go. Blend this corner into a domey shape using whatever technique you prefer. Man, I don't want to look at Gray's video first. I want to try and work it out. It's obviously a shell to finish. It's going to be a rectangle up. I think you do a quarter of it. I think you do a quarter, you do a pattern, you do a pattern, you do a fillet, you do a shell. I don't think it's a dome feature, but we'll just see if we can get the answer right, and then we'll try and see if there's quick ways of doing it, which I'm sure there are if you can do it in 26 seconds. So I want to do a quarter, which means we're going out this way, 110 by 110. We are setting a 30mm radius onto that, and we're extruding that up 25. And then on this one, this is the interesting one. So kind of a loft. 20mm offset. So I think that's got something to do with it. There's another way that I want to do this, which is actually doing out a half. So let me just show you what I mean. Not like that. with this. So 220 by 110. And then 30 up. And this one, don't worry about that. I don't think this is going to work either, but we're giving it a go. It's going to take a little bit of working out. That's fine. It's fine, isn't it? Oh, it's come straight down. Yeah. Okay. You get down here, that's straight. Because that bit there is 37. And it is offset 20. Not sure if this is going to work yet. But let's see what the answer comes out as. 414.3, 414. Okay. What do you think of that workflow? I think it's got a high tolerance, right? Plus minus 15. So if you can do it fast, you'd be pretty good. Let's save it. It's definitely a neat challenge. Thanks, Gummy. Thank you, Matab, as well. Appreciate it. Yeah, big tolerance, which means you can do it whatever way you want. Well, the way I saw it was that, you know, if you imagine where those high points are on the shape, that's just one quadrant of it. But instead of doing like a top corner, it's the middle section. Pattern it, smooth them off, and we're good. So if we could draw this shape quicker, that would simplify things. So this is 220. So one way to do it, we'll go into attempt one. All right, I'll show you another way of doing it. So on the front plane, I'll actually draw this shape. So 110 by 25 by 20. What's this one then? 37 up. It's 12. Radius is 90. Click down. extrude that 220 mid-plane. Now, can we chamfer it? $110. Would that work? You can chamfer that. I want to put pattern here. I need to get that on my shortcut bar. Customize. Features. Circular pattern. I want to get this on. It says it's there. Put it there. Okay. Select this. Pattern. Body. Combine. Fillets. I've got to put the fillets in. I think this one here, I could put the fillets in at the sketch point, like that, and I don't have to do them later. Chamfer, pattern, combine. I'm going to have an issue here. These need to be R30. And I don't want to have to select them all. That's okay. And then 10. Like that's okay. Can I get those in before the pattern? Not really. Well, I could do it here. I'd have to do a fillet and turn off tangent propagation. Like that. Then it ruins the chamfer. I don't think I can do that. What do you reckon which way is quicker? Attempt 2 or attempt 1? Now, do I have the right answer? I've got to shell it. 4. What is the answer? Hide that one. 414, yep. The geometry is pretty much the same. This little curve here is different, but it's still within tolerance. That's okay. Let's submit that. Yeah, corner fillet is wrong, but it's within tolerance. So you can see body 2 is 414. Like they're both very close, so there's no issue with that. Top 100, 37 seconds with grey. We'll get close to a minute. I'm going to go for option number 2. It's got less features. So boss, chamfer, pattern, combine, fillet, shell. Those fillets be pretty quick to put on afterwards. I think we could potentially get rid of these. All right, so remove those. If I try putting the trouble is if I try putting the fillet on here, chamfer works. That saves me selecting 4 edges. Don't need to do those. Can select, I still have to select these. 10. But then this one. clear 5 shell. That works. That's smoother. All right, let's do it. 110, 25, 20, 12, 90. 110, 30, 45, pattern, mirror, 10, 5, shell at 4. Okay, let's go. Oh, what was the model? ABS. Okay. All right, here we go. Speed attempts. 3, 2, 1, go front. 110, 25, 20, 12, radius of 90, straight down, extrude, 110, mid-plane. Then we've got, it didn't do mid-plane. Why does it not do mid-plane? It's got to be 220 mid-plane. Let's start again. Cancel, start again. Three, two, one, let's go. One, 10, 25, 20, 12, out, 90, straight down, extrude 220 mid-plane. Radiuses of 30. 2 chamfers of 110. Okay, select the body, pattern around the middle. Select the body, combine, fillets, 10, and then I want a fillet 5, shell 4, answer 414. Quick, but not quite quick enough. Not as quick as those guys. Excuse me. Right, I think we'll do one more model to finish off. Cheers, Matap. Appreciate that. Before we do the last model, I want to show you guys something I've been working on, which I know it doesn't interest everyone here for speed modeling, but I am interested in teaching designers and engineers how to use SolidWorks. So I've been refining this, fullydefined.com. Tells you a bit about me, a bit about what I'm trying to do. Here's the one and only course that I've created so far for fundamentals in SolidWorks. But what I'm really getting towards now is this video library. And I need to update a few more of the models on the Lego project, the last one, the Volvo wheel loader. but everything is here in one place, including all the resources. So if anyone was interested in learning how to model some plastic injection molded parts and different geometry in a different way and have something to assemble and put together, I'd suggest or ask that you check it out at fullydefined.com. And if you want to sign up and get access to any of the models, like you can go in here to my resources, and if you click on any of these links, sign up to the mailing list, then you can download SolidWorks or step files and assemble your own Lego buggy or the Volvo wheel loader, which is that one you can see in the background. Yeah, thanks. Just a Squarespace site, nothing too fancy, but just somewhere to put everything that I'm working on and give a bit more background to people. So yeah, check that out. I'd appreciate any feedback from you guys, particularly now I'm about to start my next project where I'm looking at doing this guy here, which is a bit more complicated. I don't know, there's like 160 parts or something. A lot of them we've done before. But yeah, if you're interested in this kind of thing, please let me know. Because I'm keen to hear from people about how they like it formatted. If people like the live stream for learning these kind of things or prefer the edited shots. Yeah, I've got a bunch of questions to ask people. So yeah, keep an eye out for those. Join the email list and you might hear a little bit more from me. So thanks for that. Let's jump into our last model. Cheers, Natam. Let's jump into our last model that we'll do. Guy, good question. I have only used, I have dabbled with, I've done work in AutoCAD. I have spent a little bit of time using some other 3D software, but I would say all up less than, a couple of days. I even learned like Revit for architecture, did a Revit course. But for 3D modeling, I've always just stayed in SolidWorks and just become an expert, like gone really deep to understand all the tools really well for modeling for a designer or engineer. I don't do a lot of simulation work. I don't do really huge assemblies like big plants or really large machinery with thousands of parts. The product design work that I've done a lot of in the past is actually smaller handheld products. So for that, SolidWorks has been perfect. For those project type stuffs, do less videos. How do you mean? I'm curious what you mean by less videos. Love to know. Let me find the last model to do. That's cool. All right, 2024, there's 9 models we haven't done. They're older ones, so 2 to 3 parts where you do everything at once. Okay, yeah. Yep. Well, that's how I did a couple of the videos in the first series. So I changed that up a bit more recently, but if you were to look at this one here, off-road buggy, you'll see in a couple of these videos, like, this, like lesson 11, lesson 14, like in that one video, 21 minutes, I've done 5 parts. I do prefer that because a lot of them are simple, very simple geometry. Like a lot of these parts are like a tier 3 model from TOBY. So they're not incredibly complex. The complex ones, such as like this exhaust pipe, I spent a whole lesson on that, 14 minutes. That's like a tier 5 model. Interesting way to think about it. Yeah. Yeah, not everyone wants to watch a series of 9 videos or a series of 26 videos. But I guess what I'm doing is recording this and publishing for free. Giving really good, I think, projects for people to learn from. At some point, I might monetize elements of this stuff. But for now, for anyone who's here, it's all free. It's all there. So yeah, keen to teach and kind of give back in that way. All right, let's finish with one of these from 2024. I see quite a few people doing a lot of sheet metal stuff recently. I think I need to give it a go too. So let's get into this one, and this will be the last one. Hopefully it's not too difficult. Yeah, the hammer model. I took that from Aryan and his SolidWorks channel. That was okay. Yeah, I could do more like that. All right. Definitely a challenging one here. I'm immediately drawn to do this kind of profile that we can see here from the side view. And then do the tabs after that, the side tabs. Because we can see the dimensions here, flat, down an angle, up. So let's give that a shot. And we'll use sheet metal tools and try and do it the right way. It was in last year's World Champs. It was not a model for me. And I probably would have lost if I had it, because I'm not quick at sheet metal. All right, front plane. We just need to start from somewhere, so we'll start here with the origin. Go 25. And we can do our radius down, radius flat. It's 45. Radius up. And then around again. Another flat section, 42. We need to put in some of these, put in some angles. Put in what else? So the inside bend radius is 6, which would be this one. The thickness is 6, which means the outside is going to be 12. Make a version of SolidWorks, inventor and Onshape, and struggling to pick one to focus on. I like Onshape, but don't like it being all cloud-based, yeah. Yeah, it's important to choose, if you're doing this as professional, it's important to choose what your potential employers use. SolidWorks was a pretty safe bet when I started. Now there's a lot more options around, so it can be different. So yeah, I don't want to say you should pick one over the other. Only that, yeah, you have a lot of options to choose from. Now I'm trying to get my dimensions right here. I have to take off 6 mil for the thickness when I was doing those dimensions. And then I'm going to go extrude I'm going to go mid-plane. My thickness is going to be 6, and my width is going to be 60. Then I'm going to go on the top plane and do that slot because I can see it. The slot width is 28, and the length of it, not really worried about the length. I'm more worried about edge to edge, 22, and edge to edge, 22. Extruded cut through all both, normal cut. Got that detail. All right. Now there's a couple of fillets on those edges, which is R12. We can put those in. So use a break corner for that and just select that face. I'll take off those radiuses. Now we've got a tab, which is here. So we can do edge flange. And this bit is really tricky. But if we just bend it down a little bit and we use the bend, it looks like it's just coming straight off. So if I just bend it down like that, but this could be okay here. And then on this face, I actually draw in the rest of the shape. This could work quite well. We've got to get our dimensions in. So where's the dimensions for that? It's on that sort of top right view. So we go 51, 8, 26. All right, that was nice and easy. Merge. And then there is another edge flange. This edge flange is inside. And what's the width? It's coming out 150. So from my front plane to here, needs to be another 14 millimeters. Okay. And then we've got a slot in that face. Which is a 9 by 12. From there to there, 132 divided by 2. And it's in the middle. Cut. Yeah, cut like that, it's fine. Now, if we've done that right, then we can go here, edge flange tab, edge flange cut, front plane, mirror, okay. And that'll work for us, and that'll do everything. And if we've done it correctly, the answer is going to be 488. Oh, big relief on that. "17 viewers. Thank you everyone for checking in, jumping on. That could be the most viewers I've ever had at one time. Appreciate it. Maybe I could do another model. This was clean. A more dynamic broadcast. I did beat the World Championship time, but I was a bit relaxed about it. Thank you, Guntus. Yeah, I am working on, I guess, improving this. The live stream is an experiment. This is the 4th live stream practice model session I've done. So still getting the hang of things. It might take me a little while before I feel super comfortable doing it, as you can imagine. So far, going okay. And yeah, I'm not specifically trying to make it live for everyone the middle of the day, because it's actually, I'm just doing it at a time that suits me, which is when my kids are asleep and there's nothing else to do in the house. Okay, this model looks pretty good. Let's save it, and got time. That went quicker. Well, I should do a speed run now, shouldn't I? I cannot do it in 45 seconds. Maybe 2 minutes. Let's actually talk about how we can speed this one up. Because I think this process down here could be quicker. Maybe this edge, like we do a tab. So maybe the tab and edge flange could be done at the same time. Thanks, Gummy. Appreciate that comment. I think that's the aim with, like, that was one of the questions with the Lego models. I'm doing it in SolidWorks. Are people happy to learn from someone doing it in SolidWorks, or they want it more generic? Because a lot of the tools, are similar from software to software. It's just the interface and some of the process is different. Could we do this any quicker? Could we do it quicker if it was just a solid model without sheet metal? Don't think so. I think the sheet metal is actually pretty quick. I think getting this dimension right the first time would speed things up, particularly the fillets. Let me just screenshot that one and use that. As a guide. Okay, so 60, slot width 28, 22, 22. Front corners 12. Edge flange just right off the bat, 30, do this shape. Another edge flange. That edge flange goes out 39. Cut mirror. All right. Let's give it a go. Speed model attempt. Let's aim for 2 minutes. Now the type is plain carbon steel. Whoops. Start a new file. Plain carbon steel. And 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So front plane. Sketch out 25. Down radius of 12, and then click. Straight line, radius of 6. Click. 45. Radius 6. Up. Radius 12. Click. 42. All right, we just want to add some tangent relations where we miss them. Add some dimensions. 22 for that one and 36. This one, 75. This one, 125. Okay, sheet metal. 6 direction midplane 60. Okay, slot. I'm going to go long way out 28. Delete this one. Get it in line with the origin. And put our dimensions in 22. 22. Extrude cut through or both. Normal cut. I don't know why it says it through or both and doesn't want to do it automatically. It's just annoying. Break corner on that one. Edge flange here. Straight down, outside. Going to go down 30. And then here, we'll do our next sketch, which is down across, what's it, across 26, up, across, that horizontal gap of 8, and then total height of 51. That's a tab. And then we need edge flange. This is included, and this is 39. And then a slot here, which was up 9 by 12. Midpoint, vertical, outside, the middle, 132 divided by 2. Extrude cut. Okay, and then we're grabbing all of those and mirroring. And if we've got it right, 488, under 3 minutes. Shortcut for through or both cut. Right click and press H. So if I draw a circle, I go right click, H. No. Do I have to do extrude cut? H. Don't know. I should look into that. Could speed things up. A frame generator video would be cool. Something like a table frame or set of stairs or something. Don't see many of those kind of videos. Cut extrude. My H key isn't doing anything here. Table frame, set of stairs or something. I'll think about it, Guy. Thanks for the suggestion. It's cool. All right, how many models have we done today? We've done that one. We've done the bath caddy. We've done this shut-off piece. What else have we done? Table, garden bench. We also did the wall plate. Also did, we started with an option of the cube. Did that one as well without a recording. So 7 models. Not a bad session. For anyone that's on now, if you missed the start or any of these models, I will, at the conclusion of the live stream, I'll go back and timestamp these so you can see both the tutorial and then my speedrun attempt. These are all tier 4 to tier 6 models, so good practice. Have a go. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the stream. Love to hear your feedback. Thank you very much for watching. And thank you for everyone, 16 viewers at the moment, but thank you for everyone that jumped on and joined in the comments. Even if you didn't join in, I just appreciate you watching as well. Yeah. PK, thank you. Thank you, Matab. Thank you, Guy, Gummy. Rambros earlier. Monty, thank you as well. Yeah, we'll see. We've got a few more of these to do, I think, before we jump into some more project work. So, yeah, that'll be fun. Take care, everyone. Have a great Tuesday, and I'll see you around. And good luck, Matab. Cheers, Guntus. Have a good one. Bye.